Come on, come on, come on!
Ready, drop!
Ukraine may not be delighted with military aid from the United States and NATO countries, but they can't complain about the latest hardware shipment they received from Washington. They are getting 155mm howitzers to blast the Russians in the Donbass phase of the war. These artillery pieces are likely made up of M777 lightweight towed howitzers, a new and updated version of the guns. Let's take a look at the M777 to see how it can make a difference on the battlefield for Ukraine. Watch this video until the end and give your opinion. The M777 is an ultra-light or lightweight howitzer designed and manufactured by BAE Systems. The M777 is a 155mm 39 caliber towed gun that, through proven technology and the innovative use of titanium and aluminum alloys, meets the requirement for rapidly deployable and accurate artillery fire support. The M777 is the world's first 155mm howitzer, weighing less than 10,000 pounds, or 4,218 kilograms. One step closer to combat. Ukraine received its first shipment of 155mm howitzers to Europe on April 20th as part of the most recent $800 million assistance package from the United States to Ukraine. American troops will be training at least 50 Ukrainian artillery officers and non-commissioned officers, so they can take this learning and replicate it with troops in Ukraine. What a great gift for Ukraine! They are likely training on the M777. This is a lighter weight towed howitzer with better range and accuracy than the 1970s Soviet-era 2A65 Mr. B towed artillery piece that Ukraine is currently using. With the M777, the Ukrainians will employ the 155mm shell against the Russians instead of the older 152mm round for the Mr. B. This will help the Ukrainian army bombard Russian positions better. More ammunition than expected. The Americans supply the Ukrainian artillery forces with an impressive number of rounds, 40,000 of the 155mm munitions. That's a huge number, because the M777 has a finite number of shells it can fire before the tube needs maintenance. So, the 40,000 shells will last a long time. The 155mm shell is adaptable. The other advantage of the 155mm caliber is the number of different uses for each projectile. There is a baseline high explosive fragmentary, but also smoke, illumination, and extended range. Artillery rounds have fuses that determine how the round explodes. So, 155mm shells have different fuse types: point detonating, delay, and airburst. These capabilities will be a boost for the Ukrainian artillery forces. The M777 weighs 7,500 pounds, which is light for towed howitzers. There is some titanium used during construction. This allows the 35-foot-long gun to be transported quickly by truck or helicopter, and they can be packed on cargo planes easily, which explains how rapidly they arrived in Europe. There is a sizable crew that must be trained. It does take 8 soldiers to fire the M777, which means training is essential. But an experienced crew can shoot 5 rounds per minute. Soldiers who rehearse crew tasks on the M777 can set it up in 6 minutes. Then, the trucks can pull the howitzers to a new position after a fire mission. The M777 can engage targets that are 18 miles away. The highly accurate digital computer fire control operation makes the M777 stand apart. The towed artillery digitization system also uses GPS to find its target and get data from drones that send it back to the system. Newer munitions may not be forthcoming for Ukraine. It remains to be seen whether Ukraine will receive the more advanced shells from the Americans. They will not likely get the laser-guided M712 Copperhead and GPS-guided M982 Excalibur, but the high-explosive baseline rounds will still yield ample firepower. The most important requirement for this artillery piece is training, since it has a digital operation component. The Ukrainians must be trained quickly and able to teach soldiers who are used to firing Soviet equipment. But with such a load of ammunition donated by the United States, the Ukrainians will likely be in business for months before they need new shells. M777 armament. The M777 can deliver the same amount of firepower as today's 155mm towed systems, while being less than half the size and mass of those guns. A 39 caliber barrel is fitted to the howitzer. This weapon has a muzzle velocity of 827 meters per second. The maximum range with unassisted rounds is 24.7 kilometers, and with rocket-assisted rounds is 30 kilometers. Modular Artillery Charge Systems, or MAX-guided, extended-range 155mm Raytheon Bofors XM982 Excalibur projectiles can be fired from the M777A2. Excalibur has a 40-kilometer range and a 10-meter precision. The M777A1 with Excalibur was first fired in August 2003. And the first production rounds were delivered in September 2006. In March 2007, Excalibur successfully completed a limited user test, after being deployed in Iraq and Afghanistan for the first time. The M777 can fire up to 5 rounds per minute when subjected to high-intensity fire. It can also fire 2 shots per minute for an extended period of time. M777 mobility. The M777 has a production weight of 3,745 kilograms and can be transported by helicopter, transporter aircraft, and ship. The howitzer may be towed by a 4x4 vehicle with air brakes that weighs more than 2.5 tons. The Hydrostrut suspension system was supplied by Horstman Defense Systems of the United Kingdom. Towed road speed is 88 kilometers per hour, and towed cross-country speed is 50 kilometers per hour. The load on the towing eye is rated at 60 kilograms, and the towing ground clearance is up to 660 millimeters.